So for your dish mat tote bag, you're going to need 2 of these dish mats. And I got the ones from Hobby Lobby in the Valentine's print. And then I also got enough of this lace trim to put on both sides. So whatever the width of your dish mat is, that's how much lace trim you need. I don't have it sewed yet, I just have it pinned. So you're gonna do that for both of your dish mats. The other thing you're gonna need to get is some webbing. I got cotton webbing. They sell all different kinds. And I cut about 26 inches of this because I want a nice tote strap. So 26 inches, and then I folded about 1/2 inch under on either side because we don't want our raw edges exposed. So we want to fold a little bit of that under so that when we sew it on later, it'll cover up the raw edges. So the first thing that we're going to do is sew across the top edge of our ruffle to secure it to the dish mat. So I'm gonna go do that and then I'll come back. All right, we have sewed our ruffles onto our tote bag. You can't even see it on the opposite side. It blends in so nicely with that seam. And we just used a straight stitch and we back stitched at the beginning and the end. So now we're gonna go ahead and cut out our corners to make box corners. I'm thinking I'm gonna do 2 inches. So cut 2-inch squares out of the bottom. So let me do that and I'll come right back. All right, so our edges are cut out. I cut out 2-inch squares from each of the corners. Now we're gonna put them right sides together, so pretty sides together, and we're gonna sew down the side, across the bottom, and up the other side. And we'll come back. I am all clipped and ready to sew. I just wanted to tell you that I'm going to sew with a 1/2 inch seam allowance so that I'm not sewing on this seam, I'm on the inside of the seam. So I'm going to go down one side, back stitching at the start and the stop, across the bottom, back stitching at the start and the stop, and up the other side, back stitching as well. All right, I have sewed all my sides and the bottom. So now we're gonna flip it pretty side out and we're gonna box the corners. We're gonna pull it so that it's flat and sew, but we're gonna do this from the other side. All right, so here's the bag flipped out and you still have your corner cut out. So what you're gonna do is place those corner pieces together to make a straight line. It's like that. And I took my center seams and opened them so that it will sew flat. All right, both of my sides are sewn. I have a Brother Strong and Tough machine, and it's really good at going through thick fabric. But if your machine is not good at that, you want to go really slow when you're going across the seam in the middle, just because it's a lot of fabric and it's kind of bulky. But you're going to sew with like a 1/4 inch seam allowance, or a 1/2 inch seam allowance is fine too. We're gonna trim now as close as we can to the seam without cutting our seam, and then we're gonna make a French seam. So I'll come back and show you that after I trim. You can see I trimmed close to the edge. Now we're gonna turn the bag inside out, and our seam is going to look good on the inside, but we're going to sew again across that same line with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and that's going to make our seam on the outside look pretty. All right, so our inside corner looks really nice, and when we flip it outside, it's going to look perfect and finished. So let's flip the bag again, and we're going to flip it inside out again, and we're going to finish by adding our handles. All right, so I am not a big fan of pins, but I felt that I needed to pin this in place. So I flipped my lace out of the way and pinned my handle to the drying mat. And then I'm gonna sew a box right here, or an X right here, like a box with an X in the middle. And I'm going to do that on all 4 straps. Before you do, you want to make sure your straps are not twisted and that they're laying the way you want them to. And I put it down about 1 inch. So go ahead and sew your X boxes, and then we're done. And there you have it. Your bag is done, and the ruffles hide your ugly X box stitches if yours look like anything like mine. But it looks really good. You can add a closure if you feel like you need to. I guess you could add a magnetic snap of some kind. But there you go. There's your finished Valentine's tote bag.